The internationally recognized war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu was shocked to the marrow yesterday when Gaza officials released what they think is a plausible response to the peace plan by President Donald Trump. And there is a twist to it, because I strongly believe that Benjamin Netanyahu was hoping that Gaza officials would fall into the ditch he has, created for them. He dug a ditch in front of them and continued to parrot a particular, talking point, thinking that Gaza officials would fall into that trap. But if you go through the wordings of the peace deal acceptance letter written to President Donald Trump, you will realize that it took a very intelligent person to pen down that letter.
Away and the Israeli government falls, right, and withdraw all the soldiers, Hamas remains in power, and
after 2 years,
why do you need a negotiation? Can't Hamas just release the hostages?
Hamas said yes. When Hamas said yes to the negotiation, Netanyahu said no. Hamas said yes.
Do you believe Hamas?
Of course I believe Hamas. I don't
believe Hamas?
I believe Hamas more than I believe Netanyahu. Yes, you can quote me. I believe Hamas more than I believe my Prime Minister. Yes, no doubt.
And guess what? President Donald Trump posted the entire image with all the words, choice of words like genocide and without redacting it, and posted it on his official page. And somehow I think they endorsed what that means. Even J.D. Vance posted it on his own handle. Even the White House, X handle also repeated the same post. What it means is that the United States, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, the White House have accepted that what is going on in Gaza is a genocide. Now, let me read you what the response is. I know most of you have seen this, but I want us to revisit it and read what President Donald Trump said and how I think it affects the general picture of what is about to happen. Before I continue, thank you so much for being part of it today. I really appreciate your presence. YouTube has been fighting this channel for God knows when and try to suppress our voice, but we've got the magic. The magic is your like. If you like this video, YouTube will be forced to share it with other people. And if you've not subscribed, I encourage you to do so, because we've got a lot to unpack.
Thank the countries that helped me put this together: Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down and concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East.
Now, let me read you what the statement said. Out of keenness to end the aggression and genocide being carried out against our steadfast people in the Gaza Strip, and stemming from national responsibility and in defense of the constant right and higher interest of our people, the Islamic resistance movement has conducted in-depth consultation within the leadership institutions, broad consultations with Palestinian forces and factions, and consultation with our brothers. And now they come up with this: that the Gaza defenders appreciate the Arab and Islamic and international effort, as well as the effort of US President Donald Trump to end the war. Recall what they're saying. That's to end the war, because this is the sticking point. In the last crisis, that the last peace negotiations that went between Israel and between Israel and Gaza, what happened was that at some point Israel said that ending the war was not a clause, because the Gaza officials were insisting that the war has to end so that the prisoners of war in Gaza can be released. But Netanyahu said no, that you've got to release them, and then we have the right to restart the war. So what Hamas is actually saying here is that they really appreciate that part of the peace plan stipulates that the war is going to end permanently. That's what the Gaza officials have been saying. End the war permanently, get back your prisoners of war, give us back our own hostages, and that's the end. Which means, you understand what it means, because we have thousands and thousands of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, held hostage in Israeli jails, some on administrative charges, nothing. They're just there, languishing in prison and whatever. So that prison exchange, they mentioned it. And the immediate entry of aid, which the Gaza officials have been saying for a long time. If you want the war to end, allow aid into the strip so people don't starve to death. That's actually the part that got me, so excited. Now, there's the rejection of the occupation of the strip. Remember, Trump once floated the idea that the strip would turn to an Eldorado, an real estate Eldorado. So it is saying that we really support the part of the plan to say that Gaza is not going to be occupied, that the individuals, the natives of the lands are going to be in control. And he said, and the rejection or the displacement of our Palestinian people from it. Because, the part that became a sticking point and why, Gaza officials refused to go ahead with the plan was that there was a clause in it, in the previous peace agreement, where they said that Palestinians had the right to live there. And of course, you know what Netanyahu did? He started killing, destroying buildings, taking down towers so that the place would be totally unlivable. So Hamas is saying, Gaza officials are saying, no, we support the part of the clauses. We support the part of the peace agreement that specifically said that the people of Palestine wouldn't be displaced from their home. Now, within this framework and in a manner that achieves an end to the war and a full withdrawal from the strip, full withdrawal. If you look at Palestinians want the full withdrawal of, the occupation forces in all parts of the strip, because their presence is the reason why the killings, the destruction, the resistance is still even effective. So this is a very, very critical part of, what is going on. I really, really appreciate the Gaza officials for that. And another part I think that's quite necessary here is the part where they talked about, the movement also reaffirms its approval to hand over the administration of the Gaza Strip to a Palestinian body, independent technocrat based on Palestinian national consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic backing. So the running of the Gaza Strip wouldn't be by foreigners, by settlers. No, it would be by indigenous people, technocrats, that would maybe conduct an election tomorrow, unite the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, and then a Palestinian state is born. All right, that's where we're going to draw the curtain. I hopefully believe that peace is going to return to the Gaza Strip, to the resistance. We have to go. Peace returns. The Palestinian state is created with Jerusalem as its capital, and Netanyahu's wings clip